Now, after installing SAP NetWeaver 7.5 ASAP based SAP system, you want to log on to the SAP system. You install SAP software. Okay, you install SAP NetWeaver 7.5 ASAP based SAP system. Now you want to log on to the SAP NetWeaver 7.5 ASAP based SAP system. That is the topic you want to do now. So already we installed SAP NetWeaver 7.5 ASAP based SAP system. Now you want to log in into the SAP system. But before logging into the SAP system, you want to start the SAP system. That is the step you want to do. Before logging into the SAP system, you want to start the SAP system. That means who start SAP system in company? Who start and stop the SAP system in company? SAP Basis Administrator only. SAP Basis Administrator only start and stop the SAP system in company. Now, you double click this PC and go to D drive. So in my system, you double click this PC and go to D drive. Hello, you only want to do, you double click this PC in my system and go to D drive.
You can see my mouse.
Any desk, you move mouse in any desk.
But
in any desk screen. Now double click this PC and go to D drive. Double click that folder. That is the backup software. That is the backup software. Only 2 files is there. Double click second file. Okay, now click power on this virtual machine. And click I moved it or I copied it. Any it. Not cancel, you click any option, no problem. Click any option. Now, so this is the way we use that backup software. So when we use that backup software, within 5 minutes, your system is ready. Now use VM and click that option. VM, click send control plus all plus delete. Here, Before installation, before installing SAP software, you have only one account, administrator account only. But after installation is completed, you got another account, that is SID ADM account. My SAP system ID is NWD. That's why I got NWD ADM account. So that means here two accounts is there. Before installation, only one account, administrator account. But after installation, you got two accounts. One is SID ADM account and another one is administrator account. So here you want to log it in SID ADM account. So SID ADM account password is master password. When installing time, we provide password. No, that password we want to enter here. My system master password is final_1234 F caps letter. After entering, press enter key on keyboard or otherwise click that arrow. Enter password correctly, final_1234 F only caps letter. Caps on is there. F only caps letter, not second digit. Okay, you type the password and search there. You enter correct password or not. Final_1234 is the password. Yeah, type and log in final_1234 and search there. When you click that icon, you enter correct password or not. Click it. Yeah, final_1234. Now press enter key on keyboard. Now wait. Wait 1 minute. 1 minute compulsory. Why means services all will be up. Services all will be up. That's why you want to wait. One minute compulsory, you want to wait. After logging into the system, you want to wait. On desktop, this is called as SAP Management Console. There is a name, SAP Management Console. In Windows operating system only, after installation, that SAP Management Console is available. Only in Windows operating system only. Only in Windows operating system only, that SAP Management Console is available. Okay, when installation time only, that SAP Management Console is created. Here in desktop, you get that one, and here also you search means here also, in search also you got that one. Only in Windows operating system only. That is tool. Tool means software. SAP Management Console is the software. What is the use of that tool? You want to start the SAP system. You want to stop the SAP system by using that tool only. You want to stop the SAP system by using that tool only. Now double click this PC. Double click D drive. D drive is my installation drive. I install SAP software in D drive only. There you got USR folder. Double click that folder. USR folder. Double click USR folder. In USR, SAP folder is there. Double click that SAP folder. Here SID folder is there. Double click that SID folder. So how many instances you install? All instances you got separate folder. For example, ASCS instance is the first instance folder. ASCS 10 instance number. Double click that ASCS instance folder. In that folder, we have data, exe, log folder, sec folder, work folder is there. In there, double click exe folder. In this exe folder, kernel files is available. USR, SAP, SID, ASCS. This is the location. So in that location, ACS instance kernel files. exe means kernel files only. exe folder means kernel files only is available. So this is ACS instance directory. Okay, now you go to back. Now you go to back. There is a D11, that is the primary application server instance folder. Double click that one. Same in this folder also, data, exe, IGX, log, set, and var. Double click exe folder here also. Here also, you have primary application server instance, kernel directory. Primary application server instance, kernel files. Kernel folder, kernel in that folder, in this exe folder, kernel files is available. You called folder or you called as directory. Now here, and one important point, another important point is SAP NetWeaver 7.5. SAP NetWeaver 7.5 system, that is. SAP NetWeaver 7.5 system release is 750 release. 750. When you install 750 release and higher release, when you install 750 and higher release, D11 they show. Primary application server instance, D11. Sorry, D11 means instance number, that is primary application server instance number. Okay, when you install 750 and higher release, primary application like this, D instance number. Additional application server instance like this, D instance. Suppose when you install 740 and lower releases, when you install 740 and lower releases, primary application server instance, they show DBE BMGS instance number. Additional application server instance, they show DBE BMGS instance number. Here, D11 is there. Why means primary application server instance, they showing D11. Why they showing D11 means because it is 750 release. When you install 750 and higher releases, primary application server instance, they show D instance number. Additional application server instance, they show D instance number. Here, they did not show additional application server instance folder. Why means I did not install. So when you install NQ replication server instance means they show ERS instance number, ACS instance number folder. Every instance you got separate folder. In that folder, that particular instance data will be stored, not business data. Business data will be stored in database only. Here in these folders, they store that particular instance data. Now go back in this page. You go back in this page. In this page, you want to go back. USR SAP. Double click SID only. Double click SID. SYS. Double click SYS folder. That SYS folder here, EXE global profile is there. No, this is system wide. You want system wide folder. You want to access EXE folder, global folder, and profile folder is system wide access. There ACS and D11, that one is there. No, a particular instance files you are accessing. Here system wide EXE global profile. Now double click EXE folder. Here also EXE is there. I already told. In EXE folder, kernel files is there. Here UC is there. What is the meaning of UC? What is the meaning of UC? UC means unique code. NUC means non-unique code. So UC means unique code system, NUC means non-unique code system. By seeing here, you easily tell it is the unique code system or non-unique code system. Nowadays, mostly all the systems are unique code systems only in ABAP based SAP system. So some in still now in some companies they using non-unique code systems in ABAP based SAP system. Okay, now double click UC and double click NTADM 64. Now, this is also kernel files. I already told you, USR, SAP, SID, SYS, EXE. It is global, system-wide kernel files. So, here, this is the location, system-wide kernel files. That means what I'm telling here. Here, in ACS instance, kernel files is there. In primary application server instance, kernel files is there. But that kernel files is particular that instance kernel files only. In every instance, kernel files is there. That instance kernel file. But this is the main kernel directory. This is the main kernel directory. In interview, they ask you want to note at that location. You want to tell installation drive, USR, SAP, SID, SYS, EXE, UC, NTADM64. That is the kernel directory. That kernel directory they access globally. Global means system wide. Now, you go back in this page, go to ACS instance kernel directory. Go to ACS instance kernel directory. Yeah, double click ACS folder. Yeah, double click that folder. Double click EXE folder. Now, what you do is Control plus A. When you click Control plus A, press Control button and press A button, it will be show select all. Now, Control plus D. Press Control button and plus D button. Now here, select do this for all current items. Select that one and click skip. Select that option. Do this for all current. Yeah, select that one and click skip. Now what here you done? In ACS instance, you deleted all the kernel files. But this files deleted is not possible. Here last file name is SAP Start SRV. That is very, very important file. Last file name is SAP Start SRV. Okay. Now you want to know two important names. One is SAP CPE and another important file name is one is SAP CPE and another important file name is SAP Start SRV. These two files means what is the role of these two files you want to know. SAP Start SRV, correct only. Now, here in ACS instance, you deleted kernel files. That means in ACS instance folder, there is no kernel files. Now you go back, go to kernel, system-wide kernel directory. Go to system-wide kernel directory. There only SID, SYS, SYS, EXE, UC, NTIDM 64. Here kernel files is there, system wide. Now in right hand side top, such button is there, click there. Such option is there, right hand side top, such is there, click there. Type SAP CPE and click press enter key or otherwise click that search icon. Here SAP CP is there. Where in kernel files SAP CP is there. That means SAP CP is one of the kernel file. What here you want to know? SAP CP is one of the kernel file. You got that information. Now in such only, you type SAP start SRV and search that file is there or not. In such, you want to search that file, SAP start SRV. You do now. In search, in right hand side, same in search box, you type SAP start SRV. Start SRV. Enter. First one. So that means SAP start SRV is also the kernel file. SAP start SRV also is the kernel file. SAP start SRV is one of the kernel file. Now, what is the role of SAP CPE? Now, already in ACS instance, you deleted the kernel files. Now, go back, go to ACS instance kernel directory. Now, minimize this folder. Now, you know clearly, you deleted kernel files in ACS instance. Now, double click SAP Management Console. Click S to open. First, not that one. In down maximize is there. First maximize that one. Yeah. Now maximize the full screen. Yeah. Now in left hand side, SAP system is there. Expand that one. Expand. Yeah, that one. Click that icon. Wait. Now expand your SAP system ID. That is error. Wait. That is red mark is there. No error. You want to wait. It will not show all the instances. That's why you want to wait. Now it is showing clearly all. Now in right hand side, that bar is there. No, move some aside. There only. Yeah, that straight line is there. No, straight line. This one. Yeah, that one. This one, you move that one. In right hand side, you move that one. Yeah, go some fast. Go little move. Yeah, leave it. Now, they're showing your all instances. And one more important point, before red mark is there. Clearly you saw red icon is there. Red color indicates error. On the time you did not start the system. That is the very important part. Now, by computer name, so when you expand SAP system, they show how many SAP systems you install, they show. When you expand SAP system, they show NWD. So by NWD is the name. It is called as SAP system ID. By NWD, you are identifying your system. Suppose in companies, sometimes they show NWD, NWJ, NWA systems like that, different systems they show. So particularly which system you want to start, expand that one only. When you expand your NWD system, they show all the instances. First blue icon is there, no? That is database. Yeah, that one is database. You no need to expand. First one is database. Second one is ACS instance. How I tell second one is ACS instance means by seeing that instance number. Computer name, there how instance they showing computer name, instance number. ACS instance number is 10. That's why by seeing instance number, I'm telling that is the ACS instance. Next, primary application server instance. By seeing instance number, I'm telling that is the primary application server instance. Here, what you got it? Instances, how they define instances, computer name, instance number. How they define the instances in SAP Management Console and computer name and instance number. And one more important point, once you minimize this one and just to click only, no need to open that SAP Management, just to simple click only. What is the name there? SAP Management Console. Now maximize this one in down. Before you minimize, maximize that one. Now in top, in left hand side in top, you see they show SAP MMC. In top left hand side, they're showing SAP MMC. You open SAP Management Console, but it is after opening, it is called as SAP MMC. You open SAP Management Console, but after opening, it is called as SAP MMC. SAP MMC means SAP Microsoft Management Console. SAP Microsoft Management Console. That is the meaning. So that one only here clearly you got it. Before opening, it is SAP Management Console. After opening, it is called as SAP Microsoft Management Console. Now expand ACS instance. Now you expand ACS instance. So instance number 10 is there, no? That is the ACS instance. Expand that one. Click process list. Click process list. So then ACS instance is gray color. ACS instance icon, they're showing gray color. And your SAP system ID icon, they're showing gray color. So here, your instance icon, they're showing gray color. And here, they're showing gray color. And this icon is different, this icon is different. So gray color symbol indicates stop. So that means what here you want to understand, your SAP system is in stop condition. Your SAP system is in stop condition. That is the meaning of gray color. Now how to start? Right click your ACS instance. Here you are particularly starting ACS instance. Now right click your ACS instance. Right click. Start is there. Click that start. Here you are logged in SID ADM account. In top username, they're telling SID ADM. They're asking NWD ADM. That is the SID ADM. So when you logged in administrator means you want to enter administrator password. When you logged in SID ADM account means you want to enter the SID ADM password. Here you enter SID ADM password. Final _ 1234 F caps letter. And click OK. On top, refresh button is there. This is the refresh button. Now here you see right hand side they're telling SAP CP is copy. SAP CP is copying. Once again, click that refresh button. That is the refresh button. Now in ACS instance, they're telling all are started. Now first when you started, gray to yellow. Yellow means starting. Now green color symbol indicates started. Yellow color indicates okay. When starting time, yellow color indicates starting. That is the meaning. Green color indicates started. That is the meaning. Now, when you start the ACS instance, SAP CP copy, you saw SAP CP is copy. Now that folder you maximize, maximize that folder. In down, you, not that one, folder. In down, you minimize the folder is there, folder, not this one, here. Here now, files is there. In ACS instance, kernel files is there. But before starting ACS instance, you only deleted the kernel files here. But after starting ACS instance, here kernel files is there. How we get kernel files? Before starting ACS instance, you only deleted kernel files in ACS instance. But after starting ACS instance, in ACS instance, kernel files is there. How means? SAP CP. When you start the ACS instance, SAP CP, copy the kernel files. Copy the kernel files from main kernel folder to ACS instance kernel folder. That is the role of SAP CP. In backend, SAP CP is doing simply what you done. You simply start and leave the system. But in backend, first when you start the ACS instance, in backend first SAP CP copy the kernel files from main kernel directory to ACS instance kernel directory. Why? What is the role of SAP CP? SAP CP want to check whatever kernel files is available in main kernel directory, same files is available in ACS instance kernel directory or not. They want to check. That is the rule. So SAP CP, what they do? I want to check everything. It will be delay like that. That's why I copy kernel files from main kernel directory to ACS instance kernel directory. That the rule they do. Simply, what is the role of SAP CP when you starting the SAP system? Simply, SAP CP copy the kernel files from main kernel directory to that particular instance kernel folder. So that is the role. Okay. Now you got it. What is the role of SAP CP? Now, what is the role of SAP Start SRV? SAP Start SRV only start the message server, NQ server, web dispatcher. After SAP CP work is completed, SAP Start SRV start the message server, NQ server, web dispatcher. NQ server will be start lastly. First of all, you want to know in ACS instance, message server and NQ server is available. First of all, you want to know in that particular instances what is available. Clearly, that is the important point you want to know. Message server, NQ server is there. But here, web dispatcher also is there. Why means already yesterday in installation time, they asked you, you want to install SAP web dispatcher and gateway in ACS instance, they ask you. On that time, you selected web dispatcher. So you selected web dispatcher means SWPM install web dispatcher in ACS instance. Then installation time, SWPM asks you, you want to install SAP web dispatcher and gateway in ACS instance. I select SAP web dispatcher only. That's why SWPM install SAP web dispatcher in ACS instance. Suppose I selected gateway also means that I selected gateway also means gateway also they install. So there I did not select gateway. That's why I only web dispatcher only install. So now in ACS instance, message server, NQ server, and web dispatcher is there. 3 is there. Now, after SAP CP role is completed, SAP start SRV, starts the message server, enqueue server, and web dispatcher. That is the important part. So in interview, they ask you what is the role of SAP CP in starting time? What is the role of SAP start SRV in starting time? Okay, it is completed. Now, you go to primary application server instance kernel directory and delete that kernel files. You go to primary application server instance kernel directory. Okay, go back and go to primary application server instance kernel directory. You only want to do, go back in this page. Go back and go to primary application server instance kernel folder. Yeah, that one only. D11 is the primary application server instance exe. So in primary application server instance, kernel directory, kernel files is there. Now same control plus D to select all. Control plus D to select all. Press control button and press control plus A. Press control button and press A button. Now control plus D to delete. Control plus D. Same, select that option and click skip. Same here also, in primary application server instance, you deleted the kernel files. Now minimize this one, minimize this folder. Here, now expand primary application server instance. Now you want to start the primary application server instance. Expand primary application server instance. Now right click the primary application server instance. Now click process list, There is empty. Now right click the primary application server instance. Right click the primary application server instance. Primary application server instance, not process list. Right click and click start. Now you no need to enter password. Already you entered password. Now gray color, process list in gray color. Here refresh. Here copies running. Yellow. Here now primary application server instance is in yellow color. Here SAP CP copy is running. Still it is copying. This is the refresh button. I am clicking the refresh button here. Still it is in yellow color, from gray to yellow. That means it is starting. That instance is starting. Now here IGS watchdog is running. This one is running. Status is different. Here you saw new, no. New, no. Here you saw status is different, but IGS watchdog is running. Started, but still it is not status. They did not change. Here already you know new, no before. Now here wait, yes, it is started. So total green color. Now here what you want to know is in primary application server instance, what is available? First of all, you want to know that one. Dispatcher is available. IGS watchdog. IGS means Internet Graphic Server. Gateway ICM. ICM is Internet Communication Manager. So you want to know clearly in primary application server instance what is available. Now here already you saw SAP CP is copy. Here you see miss. Now here you got the kernel files in primary application server instance. SAP CP copy kernel files from main kernel folder to primary application server instance kernel drive. Now here, who start dispatcher? Who start dispatcher? SAP start SRV. Who start IGS watchdog? SAP start SR. Who start gateway? Dispatcher only. Who start ICM? Dispatcher. That's why first dispatch IGS watchdog status they show running, but dispatcher status they did not show running. Why means dispatcher is started, but dispatcher after they starting gateway ICM on that time only that status will be show running like that. Now here what is this? In ACS instance, you did not found this ASAP WP table. In ACS instance, you did not found that one. What is this ABAP WP table? AS full form. Now I am writing full form. Application server ABAP WP means work process table. Application server ABAP work process table. That means whatever available inside there, you called as work process. For example, DIA means dialog work process. BT3 means background work process. SPO means school work process. UPD means update work process. UP2 means another update. Two types of update work process is there. Update 1, update 2. Work process. So these are the work process is available here. You see here clearly means here ASAP WP table, DIA, dialog work process, UPD, update work process, BTC, background work process, SPO, school work process, UP2, another update work process. Here now update work process, work process status, here they showing wait. Here S. Here all work process status they showing wait means your system is ready. Before starting here all they show new. Here all they show no. Now here start condition yes. Now I have doubt. In ACS instance, there is no work process. In primary application server instance only work process is there. In ACS instance, work process is not there. My question is, I have doubt. In ACS instance, there is no work process. Why? Why? In ACS instance, there is no work process. Why? In ACS instance, there is no work process. That is my doubt. Suppose anyone asks, why in ACS instance, there is no work process? Simple answer is, because ACS instance is not a application server instance. That is the answer. ACS instance is not application server instance. Work process. Work process is available inside application server instance only. Work process is available in application server instance only. Primary application server instance. Here, you remove this and you read this one, they're telling clearly in name only, they're telling I am the application server instance. Here ACS instance they telling ACS instance ABAP central service instance. By seeing that name only, you want to understand. ACS instance, they're telling I'm not primary application server instance. By name only, they're telling I'm not primary application server instance. I'm ABAP central service instance, not application server instance. I'm central service instance, they're telling. ACS instance is the central service instance. Primary application server instance, name only they're telling I am application server instance. Primary means you think like first or main. It is main application server instance or first application server instance. Work process is available inside application server instance only. That's why here in my system, in NWD system, what are their database? ACS instance, primary application server instance. In these three instances, primary application server instance only application server instance. Remaining two instances is not a application server instance. In these three instances, work process is available inside primary application server instance only. Now here, actually, start process, you want to follow some rules. What are the rules I want to follow? Actually, only these three instances only is available in ABAP based SAP system? No, not only these three. How many instances is available in ABAP based SAP system? How many instances is available in ABAP based SAP system? Yes, ABAP based SAP system. Database, ERS instance, ACS instance, primary application server instance, additional application server instance. These are the instances. Total 5 instances is available in ABAP based SAP system. Okay, total 5 instances is there. AS means additional application server instance. Like ERS instance means NQ replication server instance. ACS instance means ABAP central service instance. Primary application server instance. Primary application server instance. Here, these are the main instances in ABAP based SAP system. These are the instances, total 5 instances. Here, database I install. Why database I install? Compulsory. Without database, it is not possible to install ABAP based SAP system. Without database, it is not possible to install ABAP based SAP system. Database is a mandatory instance. Mandatory means compulsory. Database is a mandatory instance in ABAP based SAP system. Now, here in my system, I did not install ERS instance. ERS instance is not a mandatory instance. Requirement, you have requirement means on the time only you want to install. Why we want to install? After I told. Now I am not telling why we want to install ERS instance. When we installing ERS instance time, I told what is the use of ERS instance, why we are installing ERS instance. Now I am not telling what is the use of ERS instance, but ERS instance is not a mandatory instance. Not a mandatory instance means without ERS instance, it is possible to install a SAP based SAP system. Without ERS instance, it is possible to install a SAP based SAP system. Here in my system, there is no ERS instance. But without ERS instance, I am maintaining ABAP based SAP system. Why means ERS instance is not a mandatory instance. You have requirement means you install. Next, ACS instance. Without ACS instance, it is not possible to install SAP based SAP system. Why? ACS instance is a mandatory instance. ACS instance is a mandatory instance in ABAP based SAP system. That's why. Means you did not install ACS instance, you only install database instance, you only install primary application server instance, means it is not full system. Without ACS instance, the system will not work. That's why here I install ACS instance. Next, primary application server instance. Without primary application server instance, it is not possible to install a SAP based SAP system. It is not possible to install a SAP based SAP system. Primary application server instance is a mandatory instance in ABAP based SAP system. That's why here I installed primary application server instance. Now, without additional application server instance, it is possible to install ABAP based SAP system. Additional application server instance is not a mandatory instance. Requirement. That's why I did not install additional application server instance. I did not install. You have requirement. What is the requirement? So after I told present additional application server instance is not a mandatory instance. So here, this is also, here you see means additional. You read this one. They're telling application server instance. This is also application server instance. Additional means extra application server instance. In additional application server instance also, work process is available. In ABAP based SAP system, these two instances only, additional application server instance. Sorry, These two instances only application server instance. In these two instances only work process is available. So here is the telling, clearly named the telling I am replication server instance, not application server instance. Replication means copy. After you got it, what is this? What is the use? Present, I am not telling what is the use of these instances. I am not telling. After I do. Now here, uh, actually there is a rule to start process. What is the rule? First of all, you want to start the database. That is the rule. After starting the database, in your system, ERS instance is there. Next, you want to start that one. So first you start database. Our database is not HANA database. It is not HANA database. That's why first you want to start the database as per rule. As per rule, first you want to start the database as per rule. Next, second, ERS instance. As per rule, you want to start second ERS instance. Okay, as per rule, second you want to start the ERS instance. Next, as per rule, you want to start the ACS instance. So this is ACS instance. Next, as per rule, we want to start the primary application server instance. As per rule, we want to start this one. Next, as per rule, we want to start the AS instance. In company, they maintain so many AS instance, additional application server instance. Suppose here another additional application server instance. This is the rule. Starting the instances, this is the rule. You want to follow that rule. First, you want to start the database. Second, you want to start the ERS instance. Next, you want to start the ASCS instance. Next, you want to start the primary application server instance. Next, AS. Next, AS. Now, I'm opening another one. Now, suppose here, okay, here, okay, first I complete this one. file. In my system, now in my system, database is not HANA database. Database ERS instance, ACS instance, primary application server instance, additional application server instance is there in my system. These are the instances is available in my system. Now, database is not HANA database. Here, all instances I installed in single system only. Here, all instances I installed in single system. Now, single system. All instances I install in single system. In single system, this all instances is there. Now my database is not HANA database. Now first, which instance I want to start? First, I want to start the ERS instance. Next, after starting ERS instance, next which instance I want to start? ACS instance. Next, after starting ACS instance, next which instance we want to start? Primary application server instance. After starting, next which instance we want to start? Additional application server instance. Here, why I don't want to start the database? Why? Why you no need to start the database? Because database and primary application server instance are available in single system. Actually, there is a rule. What is that rule? Without starting database, you try to start primary application server instance and additional application server instance, it will not start. Compulsory database is running means on that time only primary application server instance and additional application server instance will be started. Here, database and primary application server instance is available in single system. That's why I did not start database here. You start only ACS instance and primary application server instance only you start. When you start ACS instance and primary application server instance, system is started. You did not start database separately. You start only ACS instance, primary application server instance, system is started. You did not start database, but database is started. How means? When you start primary application server instance, first database is started. There is no separate button to start the database. First of all, you want to know that one. When you install primary application server instance and database in single system, on that time, there is no separate option to start the database. When you start the primary application server instance, database start first. You no need to start database separately. You start primary application server instance. When you start primary application server instance, first database is started in backend. After database is started, primary application server instance will be started. So that's why here you did not start database. When you start primary application server instance, database is started. Okay, now you got it clearly here. This is the rule, compulsory. Here, actually, first you want to start the database, but your database and primary application server instance in single system. That's why what you do, you no need to start database because it is not HANA database. So you start the ERS instance. After you start the ASCS instance, after you start the primary application server instance, after you start the AS instance. But like this, database is in single system. ERS is in single system. ACS in single system. Primary application server instance in single system. Means every instance there is in separate system. Primary application server instance and database is not in single system. On that time, first you start the database. It is not on a database. On that time also, first you start the database. After starting database, you want to start the ERS instance, after ASCS instance, after primary application server instance, after additional. Suppose here ERS instance is not there. Means first you start the database, next ASCS instance, next primary application server instance, next additional application server instance. Suppose this two is not there. This two is not there. Database, ASCS instance, primary application server instance. When you start database, it is not HANA database. When you start database and primary application server instance is not in single system. On that time, compulsory. First, you want to start the database separately. Then primary application server instance and database in single system. On that time, you no need to start the database. Here in my system, only 3 instances is there. Database, ACS instance, and primary application server instance. Database and primary application server instance is available in single system. That's why I no need to start the database. First, I want to start the ACS instance after primary application server instance. Now stop reverse process. Stop reverse process. Reverse process means what? Here, which one you start last? This one. Now this one you want to stop first. Reverse process. Reverse process means now when stopping time, this one you want to stop first. Lastly, you stop the database. Okay, first you stop the additional application server instance, next primary application server instance, next ACS instance, next ERS instance, lastly database. Means reverse process. You want to stop reverse process. So here in my system, I start ACS instance after I start primary application server instance. Now reverse process means first I want to stop the primary application server instance. After I want to stop the ACS instance. I no need to stop the database. Now you stop the primary application server instance first. Now by your own hand, you stop the primary application server instance. Same, right click the instance, stop. 1 minute. Here, shutdown type, hard, soft is there. What are the difference between the hard shutdown, soft shutdown? There only they're telling hard to shut down. Immediately stop the SAP system. Hard means immediately it will be stopped. Soft means it will take time to stop. That is the difference between. Suppose soft means users are logging in the system. They are running. Immediately you select hard means what will be happen? Users are logging, they're doing work. On the time you select hard means it will be shut down immediately. Users working and everything, it will be gone. Soft means you set particular date and time. Up to that date and time, it will be soft shutdown only. When that date and time reach is completed, they turn into the hard shutdown and stop the system immediately. Always here hard shutdown only. Click OK. Now green to yellow, yellow to gray. They can click OK here. Green to yellow, yellow to OK. Now here, you see here, I am clicking here. work process here. Here all are down. Start condition no. Here you see. Lastly, dispatcher IGS watchdog will be. Lastly, dispatcher IGS watchdog. When you click here, it will not show work process. So it is green to yellow, yellow to gray. Now you stop the here. You click here, and now you stop the ACS instance. Primary application server instance is stopped. After primary application server instance, you want to stop the ACS instance only. Same, right click, stop. Same, click OK. Hard shutdown only. There click process list in ACS instance, click process list. And click refresh. It will be stopped. Now here, the two instances is in gray color. And your main SAP system NWD in gray color. Now you close the SAP management console. You close this SAP MMC. Close this right side top close button is there. Right side top. Not that one. Top. Yeah, that one close. Here, wait. Always what they asking first of all, you read means save console settings to SAP MMC. Nothing is there to save. There is nothing is there to save, to click S to save. But always you here, always when you get this pop-up, always you want to click no only. Click no here. Always you want to click no. So close this folder also. By what you done here, by using SAP MMC, by using SAP Microsoft Management Console, you start and stop the SAP system instance-wide. Instances-wide, you start and stop the SAP system. And one more important point I miss here. What is that important point means? Here I did not tell what the point means. Here, when you start the primary application server instance, this who start dispatcher SAP start SRV, who start IGS watchdog SAP start SRV, who start gateway dispatcher, who start ICM dispatcher, who start this all work process, dispatcher only. Who start this all work process, dial-over process, background, school, update to who start dispatcher only. Now, you want to start the SAP system-wide, not instances-wide, system-wide. Now, double-click SAP Management Console and you start the SAP system-wide. Double-click SAP Management Console. And click S to open. Same, first maximize that one and next that one. Same, expand your SAP system. Expand your SAP system ID. Error, you no need to start on that time. You select your SAP system ID and click refresh also, the error will be gone. Select your SAP, now it will be gone. Now system-wide start and stop means simply right-click your SAP system ID. Right-click your SAP system ID. SAP system ID. Right-click. That one only. Right-click your SAP system ID. Here, before you click start like that, no, here another way also is there. All task, go to all task. There also start is there. Click start like that also. What they're telling? They're asking how much time I want to take to start that system. 300 seconds means 5 minutes like that. So you are asking like that. You increase and decrease that to seconds also. That means within 5 minutes, your system is not started means what? It will not start. Now click OK. Once again, same. You are logged in SID ADM account. You want to enter master password. Enter master password. And click OK. Now it is gray to yellow, yellow to green, your system. You want to wait. It will take time. Gray to yellow, yellow to green. Now, ACS instance is yellow. Yellow means it is starting. Now ACS instance is green color. Green color symbol indicates it is started. Primary application server instance is in yellow color. It is starting. It is started. Now system-wide stop. You got it clearly how to start the SAP system system-wide. Now how to stop the SAP system system-wide. System-wide stop. Same, right click the system. Right click the system, same alt task stop. You go directly stop or otherwise like this. Alt task stop. Click stop. Same hard shutdown, soft, hard only. Click OK. Here also timeout is that 300 seconds. Within 300 seconds, the system will not stop. Means it will not stop. There is a error like that. It is stop. Primary application server instance is stop first. Gray color. Now ACS instance is stopped. Total system will be stopped. Now close the SAP management console. Because your system is stopped, close this. And always here you want to click no only. Okay. This is the way you start and stop the SAP system system-wide. Now once again double click SAP management console to open. And click as. Say mass. Expand your SAP system. Expand your SAP system ID. Here error time, you click here and click refresh also, it will be gone. It will be shown clearly. Now here, as per rule, first you want to start the ACS instance. After starting ACS instance, you want to start the primary application server instance as per rule. Now here, I am not following rule. Already you know, without starting database, without starting ACS instance, primary application server instance will not start. Now I'm not following the rule. Directly start the primary application server instance. Directly you start the primary application server instance. Select the primary application server instance, right click and start it. Yeah, click start and enter the master password and click OK. Means we are seeing without starting ACS instance, directly I'm starting the primary application server instance. It is possible or not? We want to check. Now present in gray color only. Now yellow color. Yellow color means it is starting. Now expand that to primary application server instance. Now click process list. Now dispatcher server is starting dispatcher yellow. I just was the green running. gateway, ISM is still. Now check work process status. Now check the work process status. Where the work process is available? In primary application server instance, where is work process is available, dialog work process, background and everything. Now here, okay, I just watchdog is running, gateway is running, ISM. Now I am asking work process. Yeah, that one only, click that. Here work process all are wait. What is the meaning of work process all are wait? Means work process is started. All are wait means work process is started, that is the meaning. Work process is running. Now click process list. Dispatcher status still here. Server in state starting only. Now select dispatcher with your mouse, select dispatcher, right click and click developer trace. Now go to the last, scroll down, go to last. Still primary application server instance is in yellow. Dispatcher is in yellow, not in green. Dispatcher is not starting. Why? Cannot connect to message server. Warning, cannot connect to message server. Move slowly, bar right side. Yeah, that one. Move slowly, warning, cannot connect to message server due to an error. What they telling clearly? Why dispatcher is not starting? They telling, I am not able to connect your message server, they telling. Where the message server is available in ACS instance. That means they telling clearly your ACS instance is in stop condition. That's why dispatcher is not starting. So why here you know by using developer trace. What is the use of developer trace? Like this, you find error in starting time. You found error like this. Why? What is the reason like this? Now click OK to close the developer trace. Now clearly you got it in developer trace. What the information you got it? Why dispatcher is still in yellow? It is not in green. Dispatcher they're telling why it is not, why it is in yellow means because your ACS instance is in stop condition. That's why dispatcher still in yellow color. Where you found that information, dispatcher is not starting, ACS instance is not starting, that everything in developer trace. When you start ACS instance, dispatcher will turn into the green color. Now you start ACS instance. Right click the ACS instance, start. Now in primary application server instance, click process list. Click process list in primary application server instance. Now click refresh. Click refresh. You see dispatcher is running now. Why? Expand ACS instance and click process list fastly. Expand ACS instance. Click process list fastly. Here message server is started. That's why when message server is started, the dispatcher is started. That's why they put rule. Why they telling first you want to start the ACS instance after primary application server instance? Why means this is the rule for that purpose only. So without starting ACS instance, when you start primary application server instance, what will be happen? Like that. So this is only SAP MMC, SAP Microsoft Management Console, only this tool only is there to start and stop the SAP system in Windows operating system. No, not only this, another also is there.